the non-availability of major thermal power installation hobbles electricity generation. The Ghana Grid Company is asking for an extension of the load shedding exercise. Load shedding is a demand management recourse used whenever electricity generation falls below demand. It involves shutting out different parts of the country to electricity at certain times of the day. On Monday, for instance, GRICo asked the ECG to shed 140 megawatts, around 7% of peak demand of 2,000 megawatts nationwide. And the electricity transmitter on Wednesday also requested a peak period load relief of 275 megawatts, or approximately 14% of peak demand. The request was attributed to unavailability of TP47, Senate, TICO 2, TAPCO 1, and parts of Azogli to produce power. With me in the studio is an energy expert, Kojo Poku. Thank you very much, Kojo, for joining us here. It's a pleasure.
Hi, thank you. How are you?
Absolutely.
Hi, nice meeting you.
Absolutely. Nice meeting you too. For a minute, we thought our energy problem was over. What's your analysis of what's going on?
When you say for a minute you thought it was over, even for a minute you were told it was over.
Ah.
That was what you were told.
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem we have in the country right now. Everybody is going on what they are told. A few people who are illiterate should go online and read some of the reports that Energy Commission puts online, their outlook for the nation. It will tell you that we are nowhere near the problem being over. Now, let me explain. You have gas being a certain percentage of our thermal production, which they use gas. Okay. Now we have hydro, which is the Akosombo, Pon, and Bu, which produces a certain number of megawatts. Now, if I can refer, you have Akosombo Bu producing about 1,200 megawatts of electricity. Now you have thermal. Thermal in total produces 1,065 megawatts of electricity. These are the dependables. Their installed capacity is different from what we depend on. So I'll just use the dependables. Okay. Now, we don't have problem with our water. The Akosombo has not dried up. So Bu, Akosombo, Pon, and Akosombo are okay. Now, we come to the thermal production, gas. We get gas from only one source, which is the West African gas pipeline. And the gas flows in from there to power Azogli, TAPCO, TIPCO, and all the thermal plants that we have. Now, the problem we've had since 2012 is that since the West African gas pipeline came online fully, they've never given us the volumes that we need. The installed volume, if all our thermal plants are to work well, we need 180 million standard cubic feet of gas per day. If all of them are to work, we need 180 million. Okay. Now, since 2012, we've only been given something like 65 million. Okay. Then, in the end of 2012, we had that problem with the gas pipeline and all that happened. So further down, we now got something. We got nothing at all. Then it was repaired, and when it was repaired, we didn't get the full 65 again. We got something around 50. Now, you look at if we need 180 million standard cubic feet, and we're only getting 40 or 50. It tells you that.
But the VRA says that Nigeria is giving us enough gas. The problem is our systems are on some sort of routine.
No, I honestly don't think VRA will say that.
VRA, they did. And that's why the machines can't use them.
Well, the problem that will be in contrast with the Energy Commission position. If you go on the Energy Commission website right now, the Energy Commission forecast for 2013 will tell you that we are not getting enough gas. You know, the 180 million cubic feet that were promised has never been fulfilled. Now, the Nigerians are having their own problems. They initially, this West African gas pipeline came about as a result of, our brothers in Nigeria has excess gas. Let's send them to our brothers down the line, Togo, Benin, Ghana, who needs the gas. They had energy problems, but they had never bothered to resolve it. All of a sudden, they now realize that, hold on, we are sending the gas to Ghana, and they are building thermal plants. Why can't we build thermal plants in Nigeria to resolve our energy problem? So all of a sudden, they have loads of thermal plants in Nigeria that need this same gas that they're sending to us. So the gas is not coming.
But it also means that we need to find
Other
ways of dealing with the matter.
Yes.
In your opinion, what are the appropriate ways or the best ways we could deal with this matter?
Okay, now the government will tell you about the Jubilee, Ghana gas. Okay, now let me explain about Ghana gas. Ghana gas, they will say will come online maybe this year or next year.
Oh, they said by June.
Well, let's say Ghana gas comes online. It creates another problem. That will not solve our problem. Okay?
Why not?
Ghana gas is only bringing you 50 million at most. Ghana gas will only do you 50 million standard cubic feet of gas. That is only meant for the Aboise thermal plant run by VRA. Okay? So now, I did a few calculations before I came over. Let's say that the Ghana gas is transported by pipeline to Aboise Takoradi, and it only feeds the thermal plants in Takoradi.
Okay.
What happens to the thermal plants in Tema? The Asoglis and all the other ones in Tema, the TTP, the TTP1 and the TT2, they don't have gas because the West African gas pipeline, let's say, is not coming, and Ghana gas is supposed to solve that problem. We're only going to have a certain amount. We're going to have only 620 megawatts.
Okay.
Because the Takoradi plants would only produce 620 megawatts if the gas from the Jubilee gas comes in to Aboise. Now, you have 620 minus 1,065, meaning that the thermal plants in Tema is still a shortfall. So this problem is not over. Like the man from yesterday, the communication director from VRE said, he's right, but he was being cautious. He wasn't putting it out there the way it's supposed to be put out there. The only way to resolve this problem is not to go gas. I've always said that I'm an advocate of somebody who goes for natural resources, small hydro, okay? We have a lot of rivers in our society. Small hydros can be developed in various areas. We have the river.
I hear that if we put all those small hydros together, we only get 80 megawatts.
That's a lie.
Is it?
No, it's a lie. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I'm somebody who leads by example, okay? My company, for us to show people that it can be done, we've decided to take one of the rivers in the western region to develop it. And we are getting about 49 megawatts from the river that we've taken. It's a small river. There are bigger rivers. There's the Himan, there is the
So
Pra.
how many megawatts are you getting from that small river?
49. 49
That
megawatts.
one alone?
That one alone. We are doing cascaded. We are doing three points on the river.
Maybe
cascaded.
that river has a good gradient.
No, but that's a smaller river. Okay, there are bigger rivers like the Pra and the Pra and the other one, the Tunnel. They are bigger rivers. The Himan is a bigger river. What we have taken is a smaller river. They are very, look, I'll give you an example. In a country like British Columbia, Canada, okay, would you believe that they have 0.5 megawatts on some rivers? 0.5 megawatts. Now, there's Rivoti in the Dunkwa-Nofin area. Imagine all the Western region communities, for residential purposes. You have 10 megawatts running in that area.
But would it be cost effective to have these
Yes, it is.
smaller
Yes,
dams?
it is, because the recent energy bill, the renewable energy bill, makes it so, because the government has put in certain incentives in place that if you are to develop anything less than 100 megawatts, even 0 to 10 megawatts, they give you a certain feed-in tariff. If you do more than 10 to 100 megawatts, they give you a certain feed-in tariffs. So the feed-in tariffs are there to help investors decide that are these things profitable. Example, you can even have solar on your house, okay? If you use, let's say, 50% of the solar you produce in your house, you can give the 50% to your neighbor. Then what happens is that you can go to PRC will give you a rate. Your neighbor will now pay the electricity. You would not pay electricity. You pay a net.
Wow.
All this is in the energy bill, the renewable energy bill. So various people in various communities can start doing biomass, can start doing solar, can start doing wind. Government should lead the way in these investments. Maybe you cannot do 10 megawatts for maybe Valco, okay? But maybe you can do 10 megawatts for a community in the Ashanti region. Maybe the whole of Ashanti residential, 10 megawatts can serve some of them. That will take the pressure off our national grid. So if you do certain small base, because listen, all our electricity generation is in the coastal area. that's a question somebody has also said. What if there is a disaster? What happens? Because if you look at it, all our generation is along Tema and Takoradi. There's nothing indoor. The only thing we have is the Akosombo and Bu, which is further up. But all the thermal plants are along the coast. So why don't we have a holistic approach to this problem? Gas is not the way, because
some have also suggested that we find clean ways of using coal.
My dear, where is the nearest coal? You see, Ghana, we like to import. You know, where's the nearest coal? Nearest coal is in South Africa or Nigeria. So we're going to start importing coal after we were importing everything up to second-hand ladies' bra and microwaves. We are going to now import coal. That's the problem. You see, look, we started off with free gas. We've gotten to the problem where we don't have enough gas. Now, Energy Commission is talking about LNG, liquefied natural gas. To build that cost a lot of money. So now we are not resolving the problem, we are adding to our problem, because you're talking about coal. And the Ministry of Energy recently signed an MOU with the company called General Electric, GE, to build 1,000 megawatts of power using thermal. With what gas? We're already having problems with the gas. So my suggestion would be, look, let's put a stop on all these gas approach. Let's look at the alternatives. The small hydro, run-of-river. You'll be surprised to know that in the Volta region, in the 70s, machinery was imported for one of the falls. Is it the Flea Falls or something? The Flea Falls or something in the Volta region. There were machines that were imported for power generation. Those machines sat there and rusted, never used. That's the country we live in. So the gas approach is not, because look, if down the line we have enough gas.
So our best approach then is to look at the smaller hydro.
To look at smaller hydro, my sister. Smaller hydro, because smaller hydro is the way forward, because you can do it in various parts of the country. In the northern region, there are so many rivers out there. In the Ashanti region and in the western region, even in the Volta region, they have various rivers.
Thank you very much, Kojo.
You're welcome.
Kojo Opoku is an energy expert. We've been looking at the energy situation here in the country. I'll be back.